3, 2, 1.
So for me, if I was in Potter's position, I think if you look at who he brought in as well, we brought in Brighton's recruitment and lots of other types as well. If you look at, if you were in Potter's position, right, you're at Brighton.
I'd walk. That's what I'd do. Well, other than that,
no, but
I would have never left Brighton for Chelsea. Never.
Well, I wouldn't. I would not, because I'm a Chelsea fan. If hi, we're one of the biggest clubs in the world. We want you. We think you're the guy which can do stuff for us. You want to come work for us? Yes. Come on. Like if someone said around, we would, and we'll build a structure around you, which is what we've done. They've gone, by the way, we've got this technical director coming in who's done this at Salzburg. We've got this guy. I want to bring you in recruitment from Brighton because Brighton have a fantastic recruitment structure. Can we use that? Yeah, fantastic, sweet, thanks, bye. That's the conversation. You know, it's look, I whether or not, like I said, whether or not he is the guy right now, I'm strapping in purely because I think over the next, he's not had a transfer window, he's not had a fully fit squad, he's not had any of his players. This is like we're giving someone, we're shooting someone before they've even had an opportunity. He's had one hand tied behind his back the whole time.
I hear that, but he knew that when he came in it. That's my thing. Do you know what I mean? So, guys, one thing I say about Potter, going to Chelsea, guys, and I know you guys have been waiting a long time for an analogy, so here's one. Do you know what I'm saying? Brighton, you got your nice girl at home, don't give you no headache, does what she's told, cooks you a nice hot meal. Do you know what I mean? She might be a 7 out of 10. Do you know what I'm saying? But, bro, she ticks all the boxes. Do you know what I mean? You get a 9 out of 10. Chelsea comes in high maintenance, wants to eat, wants to go out to Mayfair, wants you to buy her expensive shit, pisses you off, but she looks good on your CV, innit? She looks good on your arm, bro. Keep your ass at Brighton. Stay at home. Keep your 7 out of 10. Do you know what I mean? You're steady Eddie. Keep that. Do you know what I mean? You need to know what it's at. Them 9 out of 10s, bro, it's headache, bro. That's all them gal are good for is heart problems. That's it. Do you know what I mean? You see Chelsea, bro, it looks good on the CV. Do you know what I mean? But once she leaves you for someone that's got more money than you or for someone that's got a better CV than you, you wish you would have kept your ass at Brighton. Because now you can't even get Brighton back. Because now he's left Brighton. The Brighton manager's doing as good as him. You can't go back there.
Do you know what's mad? Deserby, when he was at Sassuolo, Juventus fans wanted him. Any Juventus fan I spoke to, like, we want Deserby. He's quality. Like, okay.
There you go. So now he can't even get the Brighton job back. So you can't even go back to your ex. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't even go back there because she's got a man that's doing what you weren't doing, bro. It's long. You can't even go back there. So now you got to go and get a 6 out of 10 now. Because once he gets sacked from Chelsea, bro, he has to go to a team below Brighton. I'll be real. That's what it is.
He's going to go West Ham, isn't he?
You should have stayed there. Exactly. You might end up at West Ham trying to rescue them from relegation. Ain't in the relegation zone. You should have kept your ass with your 7 out of 10 that loved you, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And scratched your head until you fell asleep and that. You should have stayed with her. This is just what it is. Do you know what I mean? But man, bro, it's true.
So there's another analogy. I'll send it to you. I don't know if you've seen it. It was when Joe Rogan was doing his stand-up on Netflix, and he was talking about Obama and Donald Trump. So you just got to have a nice, long-term, stable relationship, and now you're snorting cocaine off a girl's tits on a convertible to Motley Crue outside their house. It's like the whole thing is like, look, for me, I want to see what he's capable of with 2 transfer windows. I
hear that, but I just don't think he's lasting that long.
I don't think he's either. But if it was me, and it's not me, but if it was me, I'd go, do you know what? Let's see what you can do. Bring in your own players. Give it a summer transfer window. Give it and maybe up to next January. See what happens. Up to December next year. If it's not working, I'll go, okay, right. It is what it is. We move on. We move forward. But I feel like Arteta didn't have the CV, but then people talk about how he won an FA Cup with Arsenal very early on, set the pace and tempo early. We are in terms of what we're doing, I feel like because of how broken we are within the structure itself, within that squad, we've got to fix that even more than Arsenal did. And it means we're just going to have to move people on. I feel like, for example, Jorginho has his qualities.
Arteta never inherited what your managers have inherited, though.
No, he didn't. But then I
Like,
also
bro,
think that
Chelsea managers have inherited a squad of high-paid serial winners, bro. Arteta
really, I wouldn't say
inherited,
we're serial winners. We won the
bro.
Champions League.
You won the
Granted,
Champions League, bro.
yeah, I
Arsenal
know. But
ain't
we
got a
look.
Champions League in their history,
I
bro.
know, but the same team have lost 3 FA Cup finals on the spin.
I hear that.
That's not
I hear
serial
that.
winners.
But the mentality of your team is always win, 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 win. Like Arsenal ain't had, yeah. Arsenal have not had the pressure to win things, yeah, that Chelsea have. Not for a very, very long time. Arsenal have never really been expected to win anything other than an FA Cup here for the last 15 years. Maybe longer than that, because I stopped counting. When was the last time they won the league?
2004.
Exactly. So what? That's nearly 20 years ago. So Arsenal don't have the same pressure, bro. The mentality of the club is completely different. So Arteta inherited a team, yeah, that had no expectations whatsoever. Like you win something, if you win something, great. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you come into that job, the mentality of the players is a reflection of the mentality of the club.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea players, yeah, will in their head, even if they've not won anything, they'll be like, you know what, we're here to win. When you go to Arsenal, you don't go to Arsenal to win trophies. Not in the last 15 years, you don't.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So the mentality is different. Like you got World Cup winners, Champions League winners, all of that shit at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? 6 finals in 15 months for Tuchel as a prime example. And then you've got Mikel Arteta that came in to a bunch of shit players that was easy to get off the wage bill because they weren't on big money, apart from I think Ozil and Aubameyang, who they got rid of. But bro, his job has been a lot easier in terms of getting players out and getting players in. This Chelsea job is horrible because you got massive egos, players that have won stuff, players on big contracts, players on long contracts. Do you know what I mean? So it's not the same job. And then on top of that as well, Arteta is a modern manager in the sense that he's almost like one of the players. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't that long ago that Arteta was playing. So he knows how to manage these smaller name players, yeah, and be their friends and get them to play out of their skin. And he's doing a brilliant job right now. Do you know what I mean? So Arteta had an easy job in that sense compared to the Chelsea job. I didn't say it was an easy job, period, because it wasn't. However, Arteta is also benefiting from the fact here that Chelsea are in transition, Man United are in transition, Liverpool are in transition, and City are having a bad season. Do you know what I mean? They're benefiting a lot from that because as good as Arsenal are right now, all the teams I mentioned before are a long way away from where they have been in the past and where they should be. Do you know what I mean? Like Liverpool are a long way off where Liverpool were 2 seasons ago. Long way off. If Liverpool were playing at the level that they were playing at 2 seasons ago, Arsenal wouldn't be top of the league. The same goes for Man City. Do you know what I'm saying? Not Man United, because we haven't been at that level for some time, but this is probably the best we've been in a long time. So take Man United out of that. If Man City are playing at the level that, that they've played at in the last 3 or 4 seasons, bearing in mind Man City haven't played Arsenal yet. Arsenal are not top of the league yet if Man City are playing at the level they've been at. So there's loads of different reasons why Arsenal are there. Arsenal deserve to be there based on everything that's in place right now. They're by far the most consistent team. Do you know what I mean? The reason why they're the most consistent team is because their manager's been there for a while to implement certain things. And while other teams are in their transitional period, they're in their peaking period where this is his season. Do you know what I mean? So this is where everything goes together. This is where they're supposed to win the league. And if they do win the league, it will be because of those things. It almost feels like Leicester as well. When Leicester hit the sweet spot, do you know what I mean? And they were just playing. Arsenal are in that sweet spot right now. Do you know what I mean? Where like they're playing consistent football week in, week out. They're playing the same style of football. You know what their strongest 11 is. Everyone here, whether you support Arsenal or not, you can pick Arsenal's 11. Everyone in this chat can pick Arsenal's 11. Even if you don't play for Arsenal, you don't support Arsenal. They're the only team that are pretty much not in transition right now. And it's showing that. Will they win the league? I do not know. Do you know what I mean? But the facts are they're in a very, very sweet spot right now, and everyone else is very inconsistent. That's why I believe they deserve to be where they are. But I agree. City have, they'll shithouse their way to it. They will.
I mean, the thing with Arsenal as well, like it's the recruitment, everything. Like obviously, last year when everyone's going, why have they recruited this, why have they done this, why have they done that? You can now see why. So
Arteta went and got 2 of his mates from Man City that he's already coached, and he knew their personalities, and he brought them into a dressing room that he already had under control. This is how you manage. You go in and you bring in players that you know. Once you've already got the atmosphere stabilized, he already had the players playing for him on the same page, and then he brought in 2 players he already knew from a better team that is going to strengthen the mentality of the team, because these guys have won Premier League titles. It was genius signings, and even though Jesus don't score goals, and Zinchenko's not a left back, he's brought in players he already knows to play a system they already know for a manager they already know. Do you know what I mean? And that's why Ten Hag's doing well, because he brought in players to play a system that they already know, players he already knows. Malacia, he was scouting for Ajax anyway. Lissandro played for him. Anthony played for him. Ericsson played for him. Ericsson was on loan there. And then, well, I don't think he played. I think he was training with them.
He was training with them. He was training with
them to get fit. So Ericsson knows what he wants to. And then Casemiro's the only one that's came in that he hasn't coached. But Casemiro's so intelligent anyway. He took Casemiro like 3 games. Do you know what I mean? To kind of pick up what the manager wanted.
I think this is with us. I don't know. This is why I'm kind of there going, well, okay, let's analyse this and give it time, because there's this whole. Do you remember you had Todd Bowley doing all the transfers in the summer, when the whole plan was originally he was going to get this transfer team in, right? So he got Brighton. I think so. The breakdown is you've got Christopher Vivell, who's the technical director. Apparently, we're still looking to get a sporting director. Don't know who that will be. But you've got Vivell, you've got a lad from Brighton, I've forgotten his name, who came in, who's like the deputy scout. We've got a scout, we've got somebody else. It's like a 6-man team. So they're now in charge of the transfers. So this is why I'm saying I'm looking at this going, we need to give it sort of 2 transfer windows before we can analyse, purely because, like, this is what we're saying, we can compare it to Manchester United earlier. It's almost like we've seen that, and as much as we've got a Manchester United situation going on,
right,
we've kind of already tried to circumvent it by getting a transfer strategy in place.